And we're live.
La 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 la. Hello,
Episode 7!
everyone.
Episode
Not canceled
7!
yet.
Not canceled. We're still on air. How's everybody
I don't know
doing?
what brings you people back
Oh.
here, but I mean, I'm doing great.
Good. No, we gotta keep bringing people back. They enjoy us so much.
Oh man, that's low hanging fruit there, man.
Hey, if anything, my kids actually really they love last week's show. They
It
had
was
a great
so
time listening
much
to
fun.
it. We listened to it in the car, and they had a great time. Even Joanna enjoyed listening to Jeopardy.
So funny. So, yeah, I really enjoyed last week's episode. I hope you all did too who are listening. But we're past that. This is episode 7. I think we're gonna go into news. What's up? What's news? What's new? Dog?
Yes, the news. There is a lot of Nintendo related news if you are keeping up with it. Today, fresh off the press, Nintendo has announced a new version of the Switch. When I saw that in the news today, I was really hoping that it was confirmed about the Pro version of the Switch, but no. Alas, it is just the Mario decked out version. It actually looks really neat if you guys haven't seen it. Yeah, I know.
We want that Pro. Want that Pro.
Anarchy. But yeah, it looks really cool. If you don't have a Switch, you have a lot of options to choose from now. I would actually hold out for the Pro, but if you don't need that 4K that is allegedly coming out, if you don't need the finest graphics to come out, then just go get a Switch.
Go get one. What are you waiting for?
Get 2 of them.
That's.
Oh, you know, I'm
I
actually
know,
looking
and
at
I
a
feel
picture
like
of it. This is
really,
so cool.
Mm-hmm. I know, and
I
feel
love
really
the way it
because
looks.
I want 2 Switches.
That looks pretty dope.
Red,
I like that. The Animal Crossing one is cute, but Mario, that's looking solid.
It has a carrying case. It's red and has a cool design on it. So really nice looking. I've been wanting to get some skins for my Switch and my grips and all that, but who knows? But yeah, in related news, the Nintendo has outsold or is about to outsell the 3DS, which is astounding because the 3DS has been out
crazy.
for 10 years now. If you believe it, the 3DS has been 10 years and had its lifetime span. They just stopped manufacturing it recently, and they sold 75.77 million units worldwide. As of this is coming from latest figures, as of December 16th of 2020, the Nintendo has reportedly sold over 70 million consoles.
Nice.
So that was before the figures of Christmas and New Year's, and King's Day. Hey. So it is figured that the Nintendo Switch has surpassed it in just 4 years.
That's awesome. Yeah, 4 years has only the Switch been out, and to already be pulling numbers like that. Do you think, though, that the Switch will have a pull as big as numbers Wii?
Yeah.
That's 101 million. That's 101 million.
You think it'll do it? They'll do it?
Absolutely. Especially come out with a Pro version.
Yeah.
Their Switch is selling really the numbers of that, but if you pump games like they're doing, that's really what's selling the system, is all the wonderful games that are coming out or have come out, all the ports, and the indie games. The indie games available on the eShop it's really accessible. So yeah, absolutely. I don't think
if they drop the price down too, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If they drop the price down for the original Switch and then just have the Pro Switch, the main high priced one. Oh yeah.
$300. Even for $350, I think that'd be fair. But I don't see it reaching the numbers like the PS2. I think if I have it right, the PS2 is the number 1 selling console of all time.
Really?
Yeah, the PS2.
It's 155 million units.
That's actually shocking to me.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mostly because when that came out, it had you could play DVDs, so I'm sure people used that
Oh,
just
yeah.
so they could watch movies. That's when the big DVD rollout came in.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. All right. All right. Cool. Cool.
And speaking of PlayStation, have you guys been keeping up with all the scalping that's been going on?
I've heard it's been pretty bad.
I want a PlayStation 5.
You can't
No.
even get Ring Fit Adventure, not even just like consoles, but games
Yeah.
also. You like Ring Fit Adventure sells out so fast anywhere that it's at. So
I
It's
mean,
true.
but how desperate are you though to, pay double for a PlayStation 5 or anything
Oh
like
no,
that? I
when
mean, how
when little
seriously?
when little Timmy Tantrum is like, "Mom, I want the PS5. I want to play all the I want to play Miles Morales,
Well,
please."
just freeze yourself and, you'll move forward into the future. Go
But
God go.
mom,
Anybody?
but mom, I want to play the latest Miles Morales. And so, things like that. And of course, people just want the latest and greatest things, especially since they're spending a lot of time at home
yeah.
these days. Uh, just go get a Switch. Yeah, PlayStation 5. So get this. I read this recently. This came out today. In India, of all places, the PlayStation 5 on Amazon sold out within 15 seconds
Wow.
due to
Goodness.
scalping. That's not minutes. That is seconds because they have
Sheesh.
bots. Yeah, there are special bots. I say special. There are bots that just
They're
automatically
special.
buy. Yeah, they're special bots. A little Timmy Tantrum is like, I have one of those bots.
Go, my minions, go!
Go, my lovelies. And so it just continues to just screw everything up. And really, what happens is it's not so much that the consoles affect the numbers; it's also the games because the games are not being bought either. You'll be able to you'll have a whole house filled with consoles,
Mm-hmm.
but if nobody's buying the consoles, then nobody's buying the games. So the game industry itself is suffering, and that's why it's a big deal.
Yikes.
Yes, yes, yes. So, when it comes to next gen consoles such as the PS5, I don't even know what the Xbox's name. Xbox 21 dash uh,
Dude,
2001.
I can
What is
fairly
it?
say, are we any Xbox fans here in this podcast?
I don't
Truly?
know.
I'm not.
Nope.
I'm PlayStation all the way, and then second Nintendo. So I
Yeah.
mean, I don't even care about Xbox. It's not even on my radar whatsoever. Get that filth out of here.
Whoa, filth.
Filth.
He said it.
Mom, what's filth? Timmy Tantrum, get out of here. Nobody wants to listen to you.
Nobody
Hey,
wants your
Timmy
freaking
Tantrum, I got
Xbox.
you an Xbox. I don't want an Xbox. What are you good for?
Throws the Xbox at the mom. Throws
Just-
I don't want
Xbox.
this poop.
Uh,
I can't blame Timmy Tantrum for saying that because I probably would be like, oh, thanks.
Oh yeah, thanks.
all those poor
Oh, you
Xbox people
shouldn't
who listen.
have.
Yeah, I hope they're still listening. Don't click away just yet. Don't click away. Xbox.
Because-
Go play Halo or something.
Oh yeah, people like Halo. I mean, they're
that.
few and far in
There it
between,
is.
but
There it is.
they still exist out there. I think I have one friend that commented recently on one that was like, I play Xbox. I got an Xbox. I'm like, you're the
Yeah.
only one, bro. The only one.
Gross.
Get a Switch.
You might as well play Sega Dreamcast or something.
Hey, don't bump
Ooh.
the Sega Dreamcast. Don't bump the Sega Dreamcast.
Oh man, she's like, you can bump the
Hey.
Xbox, but not my Sega.
Hey. Last bit of news. Did anybody see that Bowser's Fury trailer?
So good! I'm so excited.
I just saw a promo of a big giant Bowser, like,
Ah,
you know, flames everywhere, and it was cool.
So good. I don't know.
It
Like,
does.
it looks like we're getting like almost a completely different Mario game, like new or something like that. It almost looks like a new Mario game. I don't know how. Like it'll take some of the old stuff, or if it'll be completely the old game with just like Mario,
Do you
with just
play as
Bowser on top.
Bowser? Maybe you
No,
play
you
as
play.
Bowser, and
you
It
have
looks as though
Bowser Jr.
Yeah, it looked as though Bowser Jr. was actually accompanying Mario, which isn't unusual. It's not unheard of, but it's like, ooh, you have my attention. And it almost looked, I think you're alluding to this, it almost looked open worldish.
Yeah.
Like Odyssey, where it's not just
Linear flat.
it's not a 2D side scroller like it's not like oh man, the name just escaped me. Oh, I'm not a fan.
it's like Breath of the Wild, Mario style.
Oh, that's what I want, and that's what it kind of looked like, almost like you could just go
Almost,
adventuring
yeah.
around like Odyssey was, and so I'm hoping that's they gave us that, so I'm hoping they don't take it away from whenever the game comes out, and it's like, just kidding, that was not gameplay.
Hugh. No, it looked like legitimate gameplay.
Yeah, so I'm hoping. It looked really, really good. I'm looking forward to that. That comes out in February. Woohoo.
In February or was it March?
February.
Oh, sweet.
It was either February 12th or 1st. I don't remember which way the one was.
It just made my day.
But yeah,
Which
February.
way the one was. Anyway, so that is the news.
News.
Oh, Mass Effect coming out in March. Throw that out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
That looks really good. That looked really good. That looked like one of the best games that debuted or whatever, showcased on
It's probably the only game I'm gonna play this year. It's all trilogy of Mass Effect. I'm so excited. I will play it nonstop. Can't wait.
Nice.
Nice. All right, gang. We have quite a treat for you for the second half of this show. But before we do that, let's have some dessert. So
Break time.
So this weekend, I actually went up to Asheville, North Carolina to visit some good friends of mine. And we were hanging around the downtown area, which I don't recommend going to Asheville, North Carolina. I had been there several times, and it has just gone downhill a lot.
Really? Are you serious?
Oh,
Yikes.
Yeah. I'm just gonna
Well, we
leave
won't
it
be
at
sponsors there. Damn.
that. No. No, but there was one good thing that came out of it. While we were trying to dodge the cold and the peoples, we ducked into a dessertery called Kilwin's Dessert, and I had quite a sweet tooth, and I still do. So I've got here two desserts. I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time on either of them, but I've got a marshmallow dipped in caramel, drizzled with chocolate on a stick.
Wow.
That can't be good.
No. Diabetes.
I thought that the only thing that could make this more American was to deep fry it.
Yeah.
So it's kind of softened. I had it in the refrigerator for a while, but it's kind of softened to like what a marshmallow feels like. But
All right.
It definitely has that caramel coating.
Take a bite. I want to hear that crunch. Oh, I didn't hear a crunch. Ding, that dissolves. I'm jealous. That looked good.
It's really sticky.
Well, you said
That's
dipped
what
in
she
caramel.
said.
It is really gooey. Wow. Well, it's definitely a giant marshmallow on a stick that's been dipped in caramel with chocolate drizzle. It's good. I kind of wish I had it cold. But it's good. It's worth
Good.
the bucks I paid. $3 I paid for it.
He's kind of underwhelmed. Like,
It's just a marshmallow.
It's literally just a marshmallow on a stick. But other than that, I have my second dessert is a s'more that's also been dipped in chocolate with vanilla drizzle. So
I'm feeling that one.
S'more.
Good.
This should have a crunch to it. If there's not, I'm gonna be really disappointed.
Let's hear it. I kind of heard it.
it was like a little snap, crackle, pop.
More like a little like styrofoam crunching or something.
Snap.
So
Once
it's a
again,
s'more.
just a s'more.
It's just a s'more. The chocolate is not on the inside. It's obviously on the outside, but I don't know what I was thinking, that there would be more chocolate on the inside.
Mm.
The graham cracker, I guess, is because it's a couple of days old. Had it in the refrigerator. The graham cracker is a little bit soggy. Not soggy, but it's soft. It's a soft cookie.
So they were like, you know those things that you make at home around the campfire? What if we sold those for like $5 a piece, huh?
Seriously.
Yeah.
I will say, they're both very pretty. They are gorgeous to look at, and I think that's what caught my eye. But, you know, I mean, they're good. They're good treats.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're a little overpriced, but they're not sponsoring me anyway, so. Anyway.
It's okay.
Brian, what you got today?
Dang, man. All right. Well, I got you a good fix here. So this is a little out of left field for Brian's stream pick of the week. I gotta go to YouTube. I love YouTube. I could spend all day watching YouTube videos, and there's so many good channels on YouTube, but there's one that I just love to watch. I love watching with the family and the kids. You can't help but laugh. It's Fail Army. Fail Army is an institution in our household. We love watching it. We love watching families, men, women, children, doesn't matter, pets, just fall on their faces,
So good.
get into accidents. I love it. Put it on. Just can't just not watch one clip of Fail Army. You end up watching it, and you're like, 40 minutes of Fail Army. Oh my gosh. Look, I know it's not art. It's not comics. It's not animation. It's just real life people just, making fools of themselves. And it's something that we all do. We all have that one moment in our life where we just fail miserably, and somebody hopefully catches it with their iPhone. So, I mean, if you need a good laugh,
you can't catch it
Fail
with your
Army.
Android because you're not going to be able to see it. So iPhone, yes. Boo.
iPhone all the way. Get that Android stuff out of here, Microsoft. You don't need that. Fail Army. Check it out. Love it. It's so good.
You know it needs to be on Fail Army? The Xbox.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Put the
Yes.
Android next to it.
Throw that gauntlet down. I love it.
But no, I love Fail Army, so yes.
Yeah.
You have
Oh,
vote
and
on
then,
that.
so, Ileana, did we have a new segment with you starting this week?
Yeah. So since we're all doing this, from our own houses, Katie will have the dessert segment. Brian will have his stream pick of the week. I will be the anime corner because I'm the one who watches the most anime and probably have the most knowledge on it. So, rightful place can go to me. So, similar to Brian's streaming pick of the week, I'll do a anime that I will suggest. Maybe not a new one, just an old one. Something that I've watched before or that I'm currently watching that I think maybe you guys should be watching. And for this week, it'll be The Promised Neverland. Holy smokes. What? This is a dark
What?
fantasy science fiction thriller. Starring
Fantasy.
orphans. Yay, everybody loves orphans.
I don't have a mommy, dad.
So it's
I shouldn't laugh. I'm sorry. It was
very,
the
very strange
delivery.
anime. The like on the outside it's like all cute, looks very sweet. First 15 minutes of the show are harmless. Total 180 midway through the episode, and I'm over here like I have not finished the season. I'm on episode 6, I believe, and there's 12 episodes of season 1, and then season 2 just was announced on Netflix sometime this week or last week. So I'm watching that currently. I'm loving it. It's really, really interesting and very creepy. Like I said, it's dark fantasy, science fiction, thriller. Go check it out if you are into those categories or genres, whatever. I'm loving it. Let me know how you feel about it. So the dark, huh?
May I make a short plug? Or discretion, I guess.
Let's hear it.
If you are a parent, make sure that you know what your kids are watching. Just so you know. Like, just putting that
I
out
was just
there.
asked. It sounds really interesting, but
sounds really good,
what is
but-
it like? I mean, is it Is it Ghibli level or is it something a lot darker than that even?
I'll just say that children go missing and they go bye bye.
Oh, yeah.
So
So
not
probably
really a
not for kids.
kids thing. I would say it's very creepy. Um, there are some beings in this that are not the best things for maybe children's little eyeballs.
Spit, man. Dang.
So,
Jeez.
the show was called The Promised Neverland. Give it a check. Check it out. I like it. It's pretty good.
The
So
Promised
it's
Neverland. So does Peter Pan show up? Like, you know, we're going to. I don't know.
I was gonna
Tinkerbell.
say
You've
is
heard of
Timmy
Neverland.
Tantrum
What
gonna be
about
watching this?
Promised Neverland?
Oh my.
I don't know, but yeah, that's
Timmy Tantrum is going to be all over that. And
Timmy
then he'll be
Tantrum's gonna
mad.
go bye bye if he was in that show. Bye bye, Timmy.
Yeah.
Going
All
back
right,
in.
nice.
What are we talking about today?
Avatar the Last Airbender.
We are going to be talking about some of our favorites and some other things regarding Avatar.
So I think we should give though like a quick intro to how we got into Avatar. Just
Okay.
a quick brief summary. So what year did you guys start watching Avatar?
Year it
Pretty much.
aired on TV,
2005.
man.
2005.
Who was the first person? Who was the first person
I say it was
that
me.
watched it?
It was actually Ileana and I. We watched it together. And they actually showed reruns of it over the weekend. Not too many,
Yeah.
but like they showed it on a Saturday morning, if I have that right, and then they showed it like the next day on Sunday again.
Was that when that was
and
like what, 2004?
No, 2005.
2005?
original
Okay.
show-
Episodes came out on Friday nights. They aired on
Mhm.
Friday nights on Nickelodeon, and then they would air again on Saturdays, I think, if you didn't see them.
Yeah.
And I remember there was that one summer, The Great Divide was showed every stinking day after school or something like that.
It's true.
I just what I mean, you guys got me into watching it. I remember the very first episode I watched was Bitter Work, and
Okay.
I mean
Ooh,
it's
that's
right
season
smack
2.
dab. I mean that's right smack dab in the middle of season 2. So I had no idea what was going on, but there was just something about the story and the characters that was just, I don't know why. I just started watching it from there, and I was like really entertained by it. But I think mostly it was because of your guys' passion for Avatar that I stuck with it.
Mm-hmm.
I've done several school projects on Avatar.
Same.
Even in college, I did a presentation on it, and I was not ashamed to do it. I was mad. My teacher gave me a C, and I was like, "Are you serious?"
Bump that guy.
Yeah, and I ended up going into the Avatar state right then and there when I saw my grade.
I also did a project in college on Avatar, but I remember watching, from the very beginning of the show. I remember seeing the commercial on TV, was like, I don't know what this is, but I like it. The style of animation is pretty, the art is pretty, and I vaguely remember watching the last episode while it was airing in Mom and Dad's room and seeing Azula at the very end, wondering, who's that? And then, of course, we all know who she is now, but I remember just...
Oh, the end of season 1. The end
Yeah,
of season 1,
just
they introduced
it ending
Azula. Yeah.
right there, and like, oh man, she looks powerful.
I was watching with you, and we both freaked out. Like
I just couldn't believe it.
It was,
I think that's one of the most amazing things about Avatar, created by Brian DiMartino and
no,
Brian
say the
Konietzko,
names for me. Brian Konietzko and
Michael
DiMartino.
DiMartino.
Michael DiMartino, is that this show was unlike anything that was on children's television, let alone Nickelodeon. Pretty much from there we had Star Wars, which was its own wonderful science fiction fantasy, and then a few years before Avatar, we had the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which was for many the one of the greatest cinematic fantasy worlds ever created, put to the screen, where you were in a world where these characters inhabited. And now through the power of animation on Nickelodeon, we were introduced to this whole new world, that invited you into this epic saga of people that bend materials.
It
And I
really
was just,
was
and I,
unlike it. Those are the perfect examples of world building. Did just that was the perfect example of world building and character development. I don't know about you guys, but I always go back whenever I rewatch the show, which happens almost pretty much every year. I go back and rewatch the show just because it's such a good one, and I go back to season 1 and see where they all started, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I just can't believe, this is where they were. And then you obviously know where they've ended up because you've seen it so many times. You go to season 3, you're like, the growth, the character growth, and just, it is literally too good.
I mean,
I'm
it
really
was a show that blended, that Eastern martial arts,
Mm-hmm.
that the fantasy with the animals and everything, the different nations it was. I mean, it's totally unlike anything. I can't think of one franchise. I mean, obviously, Avatar. If you watch the show, it steals a lot from lots of different other franchises
Mm-hmm.
and fantasies and epics and all that. But still, it's something that was so unique to its own that it had to be.
I'm not spoil anything, but I one thing that sticks out for my memory is the very last episode, and this is kind of a fun. The very last
Which
episode of season 3, the very
Okay.
last episode.
okay, was
When
that
a
2008 or 2007 that came out?
2007.
Wow.
Okay,
I was watching it with mom. It's a 4 episode just
Finale.
finale, yes, and just 4 episodes back to back. And I was watching with mom. I think
Oh, I definitely
Ileana
had to
was
be there.
there because we couldn't miss it. And and mom was there. Mom likes the show too. And that with one of the main villains, it went from kids show to wow, that is something to pay attention to. It catches your attention what happens to this character, and mom's like, this is a kids show, this is a kids
Mm-hmm.
show. But in my eyes and in my emotions, I was like, oh, this is more than a kids show. This is a thing. I don't There's no word really that I can think of that's like sort of encompasses
it's
what I
almost
was
it's
feeling
almost
in
like
that
when
moment.
Batman the animated series first came out back in the
Oh
early
yeah, man.
90s, where you had this this animation, and yet the filmmakers and the storytellers were able to still have these mature themes or dynamics within the story, where there's characters dealing with, I don't know, PTSD or depression or anger or revenge, things that you normally wouldn't have on a kid's show. They're dealing with it. I mean, the main story is it's a war. It's a war that's been taking place for over 100 years. There's a genocide, even. There's a
Mm-hmm.
group of people in the story that are wiped clean off the face of the earth. So,
I
there's religion in the story,
I
even.
think another thing that makes Avatar interesting was that it wasn't episodic. It continued. With every show that was probably coming out on Nickelodeon at the time, they were all episodic, and the episode was within that and it stopped there. But with Avatar, it kept on going for the entire season, and that was something that
Mhm.
I think we hadn't really seen before. And it was a story. It wasn't just an episode one and done.
Definitely not in Nickelodeon shows. At that time, you had the most popular thing, of course, was SpongeBob, Timmy Turner, Jimmy Neutron, shows like that. And then this comes along, and it's almost like, just like Brian was saying, it's like Batman or even the old X-Men cartoons that used to come on Fox Kids, where it was episodic. Like, tune in next week to see what happens, and you're like, I will, and and it paid off. So it is the best show. It really is my favorite show. I think it'll
Hmm.
continue to be my favorite TV show, not just animated
Yeah,
show, but TV show of all time.
Absolutely,
But
I'm there
100%.
with
I
still,
you.
remember, I remember when season 3 came out. There was such a long delay between season 2 and season
Yes.
3. It was I mean, it was bad. And then that the finale, it wasn't. I don't even think it aired live. I had to watch it online. I don't even. Did
Oh no, it did.
Nickelodeon
It did come
actually
out.
air that?
It did. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it did. Because like I said, Ileana, mom and I were watching in the living
I
room
I
and
remember
loving every
watching The
minute
Wow.
of it.
Awakening on TV. I had a friend over that night when season 3 aired, and I was like, yeah, we can hang out later, but I gotta watch this right now. I don't care that you're here. You can watch it too, but Avatar season 3 is back, and I remember just watching it, and Aang waking up with the hair and the headband on or whatever. No, he didn't have the headband on.
Yeah,
Just, but it was so good,
Just
and
the
being on the
hair, yeah.
Fire Nation ship and everything.
yeah.
And you had no idea. Here's the thing: what's different too? TV shows are made to have another season. Every single TV show, network TV, there's got to be a season 4. There's got to be a season 5. You got to keep standing this show. With this, for one thing, the writing such a job is like this show is going to end. There is going to be an
Mm-hmm.
ending to the. All good stories have an ending. But you had no idea. There was not at that point. This was like early days internet. That you had no idea when it was gonna come, and if they would even finish it, if it would ever get
Yeah.
done at all. So it was so awesome to see the Last
Do you
Airbender show.
remember? Do you remember how it was almost like you were a kid again at the end of season 2? No spoilers, but it was a cliffhanger. It ends on a cliffhanger,
Right.
and I think
Yes,
everybody when they watched it for the first time, they're like, "No, no!" Just freaking out. Like,
All right,
And that was it.
we could talk. Let's talk about
was
that
it.
in our favorite episodes. Or what we're gonna be doing is
Yeah,
we're gonna be
all right.
ranking some of our favorite bits and pieces of the whole franchise of the Last Airbender. I think next week we're gonna be working on the other show,
Korra.
Korra, Legend of Korra. But tonight, we're going to be talking about some of our favorite stuff within the Last Airbender show. So the first question we had is, if you were a bender, which martial arts style what would you be bending?
Fire.
Earth. Yes. Although I would be a combination of fire and earth, I think, but earth is definitely what I would be.
Yeah.
Oh, magma over here.
I'm a fan
Yeah.
of fire. I've always been a fan. I used to like the water bending, but I've got the rage
I like
inside.
I like the fire bending because it's like it is about power and about like they say it's from the breath, and you see that with like the fire bending styles, that martial arts, it's very karate style, if that's a way to say it. I guess there's a lot of kicking and a lot of this, which
Yeah.
is a lot different than the other
A lot
styles.
of-
Katie,
They
what
can't
did you
see me
like?
doing this?
This.
Oh yeah, right. I'm putting my hand out.
No, like I think a fan of like for bending related, watching Azula's fighting style is just the coolest thing. The way she uses
It really is.
fire bending. I have always loved the way Azula utilizes fire bending.
And that, again, that's one of the great things about this show is how they utilize like real life martial arts and the different styles, and incorporated that into the show. So you see that the artistry, the animation, when they're actually fighting, it looks like a real life person
Yeah.
doing a martial arts fighting technique, and I love that. You can see from the water, the earth, air, earth. It's all different. Each technique is its own, and I just love that. If it was me, I mean, in a perfect world, I'd love to be air. I'd love to airbend, but I
So
think
I'm looking it
I'm
up
too
here,
fat to do
and
that, and I'd be earth. Yeah.
fire bending is Northern Shaolin Kung Fu. Pretty cool.
That is cool. Have you ever seen a Shaolin monk actually like do martial arts? There are documentaries on those monks that just hang out. I say hang out. They
Just
meditate
chilling.
and study in the mountains, just secluded
Hey,
from
what
the
are you
rest
doing
of the
tonight?
world.
Oh, I'm just gonna be
Oh,
in the
just hanging
mountains.
out.
And,
Just gonna be.
Just just eating a single grain of rice and thinking about my place in the universe. But no, I am very much an earthbender because I'm that I'd like to think that I am that sort of tough, um, very stubborn kind of element,
Mhm.
where I don't know. I like to. I say I like to. I exercise a lot, and I'm like. I feel like what's that? The Boulder in season 2. Little
Yeah.
Boulder feels conflicted about fighting a little blind girl.
Could be like
That's
the
kind of how I
hippo.
am.
The hippo.
Whoa! Me
But
mad,
even
hippo mad.
Toph, she's like, you gotta stop thinking with your head. You just gotta like get into it, and she throws her head into a rock.
Yeah,
That's
that's me. If I see something where there's an issue, I'm like, excuse me, let me just step
let
inside
me
here
throw my
for
head
a
into a
second.
rock. Done.
Yes. All right. So, who is your favorite, followed by least favorite character? Let's start with our first, with our favorite character.
It's hard.
That was so tough. I
Yeah.
went over it because there's so many. There's so many
Yeah.
because I love so much. One thing about this show is that there is such an arc
Yeah.
from beginning to end with a lot of these characters. They're not just the same after the adventure and the mission that they go on. Even the villains. The thing is, even the villains change. They're not the same villains as they are from episode 1 to the end. They have growth.
Mhm.
So for me, I would have to say Sokka, who is one of the most characters with the biggest
Ooh.
arc. When you first meet Sokka, he is just a cranky teenager going through puberty. He's all alone. I mean, he it's when you
He's the
watch
only
Sokka in the
male
beginning of.
left.
He's the only male. There's no other chicks to talk to.
Well, no,
He
he's the
has
only
nobody
male
to.
leader left at the Southern Water Tribe. That he's the only guy that's
Yeah,
left. Everybody else is out fighting.
so you can see that there's a bit of anger in him for he's been left behind. He's
Mhm.
got no all he has is his sister Katara. But as you see that from realizing like even girls can fight, he gains respect for his sister, gains respect for the Kyoshi warriors and for his future girlfriend. He grows and he matures. He's still the same sarcastic, funny guy, but he gains confidence. By the end of the whole show, that kid is confident in who he is and that he's a leader and he's a guy you can always trust in Sokka that he'll have your back.
The whole time you were talking, when you said Sokka, my mouth dropped, and I'm looking at Katie, and she's like laughing at me because my character was going to be Sokka. So that's really
Nah.
funny. I did choose Sokka.
Dang.
Uh,
Really?
just like you said, I mean, he's the only non-bender main character, and managed to go through so much character develop. They all did go through character development, but coming to terms with the fact that he's not a bender, how can he be a part of Team Avatar? And I really appreciate that because I mean, we're all obviously non-benders too, so we had to.
Next time, let's let each other know what our favorite character is, and that way we can step on each
No
other's
No,
way,
toes.
no,
man.
I'm
It's
okay
more
with that.
fun this way.
Because otherwise, I would have went Zuko. Because Zuko is next for me.
Yeah, my
But
next would have
yeah.
been Aang. I actually wrote Aang as my next choice.
Well, what? Wesley. Brian, talk about Zuko.
So again, just like Sokka, Zuko has this amazing arc. It is such a story of redemption, not only of redeeming himself, but redeeming his whole nation. A nation that he was taught was the most powerful, the best. It's kind of typical today. These kind of headlines where we're the best. You got to do what we do. It's yeah. I mean, that's what's in the headlines today. But he
You
realizes, you know
suck.
what? I've been around the people of the world and they hate us. They can't stand us
Mhm.
because we think we're the best and we terrorize them. This is a guy, spoilers, who betrays members of his family and that eats him up inside because there's such conflict between what his father wants and what he wants, and how he's able to you know get through that conflict is so much growth in the story that at the end of the day the story becomes the story of Aang and Zuko.
Mhm. So, Katie, who's
All
your
right.
favorite?
Well, ooh,
No
I
surprise
could.
here. I know who it is.
Let's see if you can get a guess.
It's got to be Toph, right? There's no other way. I'd be surprised if it's not Toph.
So I originally wrote down Zuko or Iroh,
Oh.
but
Ooh,
but
yes,
but
yes.
everybody knows that Toph is my favorite character because I feel like I relate to her where, it's a strong female character. She's very tough. She's, trying to prove herself. She doesn't even have to prove herself. She's just naturally gifted. Despite her disability, she overcomes that and just wows everybody, changes the world on her own. She invents a new bending style.
I am the greatest earthbender in the world. Don't you two dunderheads ever forget it.
And if you don't know, she's blind, but she's able to see through the vibrations of the earth. She feels it with her feet. And I think that's really cool. I love people thinking outside the box like that, being creative, not letting things slow them down. And so she's just cool. She's just cool, man. She's really tough. She doesn't take garbage from people. She'll dish it back. But she's also really, really funny as well. But I'll spare you of Zuko because I could talk to death
There,
about
there could be an
Zuko.
entire episode on just Zuko alone. Get it? Zuko,
There was an
Zuko
episode.
alone?
Yeah, there was an episode called Zuko Alone, but Iroh, whew, he got me into drinking a lot of tea. Actually, right now, when I teach lessons, I drink herbal tea. Thank you to Uncle Iroh.
This tea is nothing more than hot leaf juice.
Uncle, that's what all tea is.
Strong of mind, strong spiritually. He's a powerful bender, the dragon of the West. He rises from where he came from, the Fire Nation, where it's a nation full of people that, like Brian said, they're just terrorizing people. But with Iroh, he is all about peace and balance and harmony. Just even from his own sadness, he's able to bring joy to other people. And I could have a whole episode on Iroh just talking about his philosophy,
yes.
and how how he's learned from his youth, and he's able to put that wisdom into Zuko, who is, in the beginning, Zuko is just this angry, he's also an angry, angsty teen with just one thing on his mind. It's actually just catching the Avatar, that one thing on his mind.
Yeah.
But through it all, through Zuko being really terrible to Iroh is still that loving uncle. I love you no matter what. And that's why Iroh is probably my choice next to Toph.
So we talked about favorites. What about least favorite characters?
One thing quick before we get into that. One thing I love about all these characters though is that even though how amazing they are, they still have flaws.
Yeah.
They're still vulnerable.
Get
Toph,
deep there, brother.
even though Toph is like the mightiest bender, she still hurts inside for the way that her family treated her. And then if you keep watching the whole series, that manifests itself in so many ways too. She's not able to connect with so many people.
It's true.
Yeah.
That's one thing I
You're
love
getting
about
me
that
deep
character
there,
is
man.
that she's super vulnerable. And then Iroh again, he's not a perfect character too. Iroh he was in war. He stopped anyone from burning villages or burning walls down. But he understands at the end of the day what's really important. All right, let's go.
Really quick, on top of that with Iroh, he's really silly where there's this big, well, I'll use one example. There's this big battle going on, and it's at a place where a bunch of nuns make perfume.
The
And while this
Abbey.
big battle, Yeah, the Abbey. And while this big battle's going on, he's just minding his own business, like trying out the different perfumes. And,
Mm-hmm.
and
And
he
then
just
takes
sneaks
one.
Yeah, he takes one. And it's that kind of charm that you just fall in love with. Okay, so least favorite.
That's hard. I don't like. I don't know if I could choose like a
I
least
have
favorite.
one.
All right,
I
split
have
it.
one, and it doesn't make much sense, but I've never liked the writing with this character, and it's Haru. He's a side character, and I don't like him. I don't like him.
No, I get that.
I feel like they could have done a lot more with Haru. He is a side character, and his story is that his village has been taken over by the Fire Nation, and his father has been taken and put in a Fire Nation prison camp. And so that sounds cool, right? But instead of, being a strong guy, he's very weak. And even after, spoilers, it's not even a big one, but they rescue the dad, they save him. Haru doesn't really do a whole lot to help anybody. He just sort of falls off the face of the earth, and he comes back in season 3 and he has a mustache, but he doesn't really do anything. And it's like, wow, I know you're a side character and you have your time to shine, but you have
boring.
Yeah, it's boring. You have the ability to earthbend. You live in a I don't know. I don't like him. I don't have a good reason to, but I do not like Haru. They could have done better with him.
All right, big brother.
John.
Really?
Oh,
John,
what?
dude, John is just. It takes Avatar Roku coming in, through the fire to be like, this is the Avatar. Teach him, for goodness sakes. This is the guy that's gonna save the whole world. All right, get off your high horse. Just teach him. So John, and then he's gone. And that was it.
I disagree. I think he's a cool character. Because
I do too.
He must have done something really bad that they never mentioned. I bet you he did something really bad, and now he's like, "You are not ready."
You want to stop breathing?
Yeah, I love
He
Zhang
feel bad.
I sitting here writing out everything that we're gonna be talking about. I couldn't pick a character that I disliked. It was really hard.
Cabbage Man.
Oh, my cabbages!
Cabbages Man.
Oh,
Love that guy.
No.
Maybe it would be Aunt Wu, if anything. Like
Why?
I love
like
Aunt
her.
Wu. Everybody does, but she's kind of like a meh character. So maybe
Oh,
maybe
wait,
Aunt
I'm
Wu.
getting Aunt Wu mixed up with the two twins, the twin ladies at the end.
No.
To the party.
Yeah. That's oh gosh, I forgot their names. But no, Aunt Wu is the fortune teller from
man.
season 1.
Yeah, okay, right.
Yeah. Which actually takes us into episodes. So favorite
Lo and Lee. Lo and Lee.
Lo
is the
and
name of the
Lee.
twins.
I thought Twee and La, and I was like, that's not right either.
No, that's the Koi
That's the
fish.
moon. That's the moon
Get
spirit.
it right.
Yeah.
Get it right.
So favorite episodes of season 1, go.
Blue Spirit.
Really? That's a good one, but
Blue Spirit.
shocking.
It's
Oh,
got
shoot.
everything
I
that
gotta
Brian
come up with
was.
a different one.
No, you don't. It's got everything that Brian was talking about earlier with martial arts. Oh, it's so good, and it's got
It
a
is
twist
good.
ending. No spoilers. It's got a twist. It's not really a twist ending. It's got a cool twist at the end.
Yeah.
A realization for somebody, and it's just really good. It's very actiony. It's very funny.
Okay, I got it.
It's just
I got mine.
My friends need to suck on those frogs.
yes. That's great.
So for mine, it's funny that Brian brought up Zhang because I was fighting in between The Deserter as my favorite episode or The Siege of the North Part 2.
Ooh,
Siege of the North.
so
Good. I thought one of you would pick that, which is why I didn't.
So
pick it.
epic.
Yeah, it's
So
too
epic.
good. Like, it just holds like.
They will call me Zhao the Conqueror, Zhao the Moon Slayer, Zhao the Invincible.
It's so high up my list, obviously to put it as a favorite, just for like nostalgia reasons.
If you out there ever watch the so-called movie,
Ugh, trash.
do not
Oh my
base
god.
that what you see on the movie screen as for that's what happens in the show, because in the
No.
show it is epic, like epic. It's the only word to use.
I would have to say my episode would be The Storm.
Backstory
It's a-
episode.
You will learn respect, and suffering will be your teacher.
It's a good backstory episode. We get to see a little bit about, and that's what I'm saying. I think at the end of the day, The Last Airbender is the story of Aang and Zuko. You get to see their backstories. Aang, and then Zuko. I'm a sucker now for father-son stories. They've, now it's, yeah, I know. It was like, it's a Luke Skywalker thing now. I'm ruined
Yeah.
for life, but that's a whole different story. So, The Storm for me, up season 1.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's a good one. Okay, season 2.
Wait,
Uh,
Ileana, what did you pick?
I told you,
Oh, no,
Deserter
I'm
of the
sorry, I'm
Siege.
sorry. Oh, cut me out.
Oh, actually, before we go to season 2, what's your least favorite episode of season 1?
Oh boy.
Fortune teller.
I think
Fortune teller.
Mine's the Northern Air Temple.
Yeah, I could see
agree
that.
with
I could see that.
I agree with Northern Air.
It's just kind of like a
Northern
meh
Air Temple.
episode.
They
It's
just
filler.
kind of like they go to every temple, so we have to go to the northern area.
Exactly,
Yeah.
and it's a good one. Like, I like seeing the Air Temple, or at least like airbenders being like revived or something in quotations. But it's just like
it
a
didn't
meh
really-
episode.
It didn't really make much sense to me. Like when the firebenders come back and invade, were they just like hanging out at the bottom of the mountain, be like, "I'm waiting." I'm
Exactly.
waiting." It didn't make much sense to me, but I like the.
Yeah, I
fortune
like the
teller.
episode,
I
it's just
really
not-
like the fortune teller.
Oh, fortune
It's
teller. Ooh,
silly.
that's a good
Yeah.
one.
If you
I
cut the
really
fortune
like it.
teller out of the whole story, you'd never miss it again.
No, but Katara realizing that Aang is one powerful bender. That scene right there was important.
Dude, she didn't even like him like all the way in season 2. She wasn't even had the hots for him. That's such a. I'm a
But it got
Zuko and
her
Katara guy
thinking.
right here.
Whoa!
Oh no,
Zutara.
Zutara.
I'm a Katang
Get
fan.
out. Oh my
Katang.
gosh. Oh
All right,
my
season
God.
2, favorite episode.
Wait. I'm a Taka fan. Nobody asked me. Taka.
No one cares. Be quiet.
Taka. Oh,
Um,
fine.
my-
wait. My least favorite. My least
Oh.
favorite episode.
Oh,
The
what
Great
the heck?
Divide.
Oh,
The Great
okay.
Divide.
Yeah, that's
No,
expected.
I like the Great Divide.
I like
it.
it too. It's good. Canyon Crawlers, good episode. The
It was
Zhangs
just
and the
overplayed.
Ganjins.
That one spring or summer, it was just overplayed. It's not unwatchable,
Yeah.
but it's just you could take that out and nobody would miss it.
Right.
At all.
Let's just skip it. Keep on flying.
Yeah.
Season
Yeah.
2. Favorite, it would be City of Walls and Secrets or Appa's Lost Days.
Appa's
Both of
Lost
those are
Days. is
great.
Those are my
When I
two
s-
favorites.
When I first saw City of Walls and Secrets, I literally felt uneasy.
Just there.
This place is weird.
It
I
is
felt like there was-
queasy feeling.
I literally felt like this isn't right. Like the show took a turn right
Yeah.
there. And it just makes you feel
And it's
like,
perfect.
oh,
It's such
It's
a
so
perfect
good.
turn.
yeah.
I love it. Long Fang just going into like what is making everything weird because Judy was acting so strange the whole time. It's like, what is going on? Then he explains it, and it's like, this is creepy. Ugh.
Yeah, and the whole time you're watching Judy, you're like, why are you acting so weird? Like,
Yeah.
dang.
Brian, what's your favorite?
It's pretty close. I'll tell you what. There's the Tales of Ba Sing Se, but just the Iroh chunk. Just the Iroh chunk of the Tales of Ba Sing Se.
It's good.
It speaks for itself. It's in honor of Mako. That's it. That's all I gotta say about.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about that. But then, the Crossroads of Destiny.
Good
is
episode.
The
Oh.
Empire
That's what I picked,
Strikes
too.
Back. It is the Empire
Yeah.
Strikes Back of Avatar: Last Airbender. It is shocking. It has got so much action. It is it is the creme de la creme of good fantasy storytelling on an epic scale. It doesn't get any better than that.
That's one of the ones that I picked as well. Going back to Tales of Ba Sing Se, everybody leaves out poor Momo's story.
See,
Like,
and that's why I had
that
to
is
choose.
a sad one.
I had to choose Appa's Lost Days because that episode, while it's sad,
They're
evokes
connected.
that emotion out of you. I cry
Yeah.
every time I see that, and you're gonna see why my least favorite episode is my favorite episode, because it's like, oh, it hurts so bad. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I have Coco, and everybody knows how much I love Coco, my dog. So,
But I also picked A Crossroad of Destiny, but my top pick was Zuko Alone.
yeah.
Ooh.
Oh yeah,
everybody,
dang, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, I thought you were gonna pick that one. But anyway, it's
that's up there,
about
though.
Zuko. Zuko has parted ways with Uncle Iroh, and he's just traveling across the Earth Kingdom on his own on an ostrich horse, and is like out in the country, and he goes through the desert, and he has no money, no food, whatever, and it turns into
I literally
like, this
just
Western.
watched it before we started recording.
It's so good.
Yeah. It's a Western episode, Western type kind of episode, but it also goes back into his backstory, a little bit more of his childhood.
Oh, so good.
And it explains a lot more of from what we get from the storm. From the storm, you sort of realize you figure out why he's hunting the Avatar, but with Zuko Alone, you see why he's tormented, like just how scary it is to actually be in the Fire Nation, and not just in the Fire Nation, but in that family with Azula, Ozai, Zuko's mom,
Ursa.
It's like Ursa, yeah, with Ursa, even the Fire Lord at the time, his grandfather. It's
Fire Lord
terrifying.
Azulon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Fire Lord Azulon. Iroh is not there to comfort Zuko. There's nobody there to comfort Zuko. He's literally getting terrorized in his bed. And so he's trying to do good in this episode, but it backfires. And it's like, oh, it just eats you up inside. It just tears you apart. It's a great episode.
So, like I mentioned before, least favorite episode for me is The Library.
Oh, I love the library.
I do too. But that episode is when Appa is taken away, and it rips out my heart.
Yeah.
So it's like,
But you can't say that's bad, though.
I can't
bad.
stand to watch that episode just because of Aang's face at like the last 5 seconds of the freaking episode, and just the immediate tears. Like, it rips out my heart. So it's my least favorite.
And Toph tried so hard to save him.
I know.
Like, she really did everything she could.
Those
and then Aang is
stupid
like, you never loved him.
sandbenders.
You never appreciated him. Angsty
All right,
Aang.
least favorite episode. You guys go.
The Avatar State episode is you could do without
Aw.
it.
Oh, I like that episode.
I liked it too. That's not what I picked. I picked Avatar Day.
I like that episode too. The story
I
of
like it too.
Kyoshi.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah, no, yeah, that's right. Avatar Day.
What?
Avatar Day.
I
It's
specifically
aggravating.
didn't pick that episode.
It's aggravating.
The only reason I like that episode is because that famous, and I apologize, I'm totally blowing his name. It's the Chinese actor who does the voice.
Oh,
of
from Mulan.
From Chi-Fu. He does all these, Asian voices. I love him. He is a great actor, and I love that guy. But that's the only. Everything else sucks. Yeah.
The only saving grace of that episode is that it is funny, and then Kyoshi shows up out of nowhere and basically says, "Yeah, I killed the guy. So what?"
Yeah.
I killed Chin the Conqueror.
Other than that, the rough rhinos, they're trash. They don't do anything. They just like circle the people and set some houses on fire, and that's it. It's like, what are you doing? Get out of here, stupid.
Yeah.
So yeah, Avatar Day, no.
And the reason why I couldn't say that the Avatar State is the worst episode is because that's where you see Zuko and Iroh be like banished, they run away from Azula.
Oh, yeah,
Too
yeah.
good.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't
And then
pick
they
that
cut
one.
their hair. They cut
Yeah.
their hair,
Oh, it's
which
so
is like their
good.
honor.
We're taking
Like,
the
that's a
prisoners
sign of honor.
home. Like, oh snap, it's too good.
Princess,
Azula's face right there.
Yeah.
Azula's face right there. She's like, "Oh, you're dead. You're
Dead.
Yeah, you know
right
that guy's
here."
dead.
Yeah. Oh, too
ED.
good. That's the introduction to Azula. So good. Season 3, favorites.
Nightmares and Daydreams
Oh,
is
so
Are you
my.
serious?
Such a good
No.
Yeah.
one.
Listen,
I like
season
it, but
three.
Come on.
Season 3 has so it's gonna be tough to pick a worse episode. Season 3 has so many good episodes.
Yeah.
So I guess I had to go with one that's totally outside the box. I think it's a great episode because that's the episode where Zuko realizes that some things have to change. He's got to make a change. Aang realizes that he's got to, this is the big step. It's the step before he makes the biggest fight of his life. And plus, there's so many funny parts with Appa and Momo and
Yes.
the lambs and the sheep
Hey,
and
Yes.
my pants, my
So
pants!
And the random
So-
anime references.
I didn't study for my math test.
Yeah.
That's me. That is me.
So
I have nightmares
good.
about math tests.
And it's
I don't know,
Mark
though. I don't
Hamill,
know.
who's the voice of Ozai, just has fun. He just
Yeah.
has a blast. It's fun hearing him just,
Yeah.
This
you know,
is so
He
good.
goes,
like
he
that.
goes crazy.
So,
No, I forgot all about the math test.
Maniacal laugh.
so that Nightmares and Daydreams for me. Yeah.
For me, I'm gonna have to go with either. I had the same idea you did in that season 3 has so many good episodes, and I thought that one of you guys were gonna pick like the last episode.
No.
So I picked I picked 2: Sokka's
Uh-oh.
Master and the Runaway.
Oh, okay, good.
Sokka's Master and the Runaway. Sokka's Master, you get to, Sokka gets a little bit of the spotlight for once,
Mhm.
and he gets a sword, and he becomes a swords master, and he's honest. Like, chance to be like, hey, thanks for the sword and the training, gotta go, bye.
Mhm.
But instead, he did the honorable thing and said, Master, I'm not who you think I am. I'm from the Water Tribe. And the Master at first was like, yeah. Yeah, you gotta die. We gotta fight. But it was just it was sort of a trick. He didn't want to kill
To
Sokka.
test his skills and
Yeah,
resourcefulness
testing.
almost.
Exactly. And so it's really cool to see Sokka in that state. And then the other people without him being like, what do we do?
Yeah.
This is lame without Sokka. And then with the Runaway, it's kind of another thing focusing on just Toph, where, well, not just Toph, but Toph
Like the
gets a little
relationship
bit-
that
she grows
happened in
up.
season 2 between Toph
Yeah.
and Katara.
Toph grows up a little bit, and you get a little bit more understanding, and the bond between Katara and Toph gets stronger. And in fact, between Toph and Sokka, they have a heart-to-heart, and it's really nice to see them. That's why I'm team Taka.
And we get hockey.
Hockey, yeah. Yeah.
My favorite episodes, this may come as a shock to you guys, but the beach or the Southern Raiders.
The beach is a little of a shock.
I love the beach.
I'm shocked.
No.
Wow.
The Southern Raiders never really hit me when I first watched it when it was airing on TV. Same with the Boiling Rock. I didn't really care for those episodes when they were airing
Brian
on
was gonna
TV.
pick the Boiling Rock.
However,
I really thought-
I love Boiling Rock.
It's
love it.
so
Love it.
so good rewatching it, because when I was growing up and I watched it, I was like, oh, these are kind of whatever episodes. I guess I didn't really understand the significance of them. But watching the Southern Raiders back, ooh, do I just feel Katara's anger and pain. You hear the entire season of her talking about her dead mother and how the Fire Nation took her from her, and now you finally get to see it in action, just revenge, but then choosing not to. I love those emotions that come out through Katara, so that's why I chose the Southern Raiders. And the beach, it's just a funny episode. It's silly, it's fun, I like it. It's
Hey,
you get to
I'm
see the
Shane.
villains have fun and go through their own little thing, but then you get to see Team Avatar being attacked by
Yeah,
a
I'm
Question
Ron
Man.
John. What the heck?
Ron John, what's your name?
Yeah, so that's good.
Who cares?
Oh my gosh. Shade.
Together, we will be the most powerful couple in the Fire Nation.
You're pretty.
Together, you and I will be the strongest couple in the entire world. We will dominate the Earth!
I gotta go.
Ugh.
I gotta go.
So, least favorite.
Oh, okay. This is gonna blow your mind. Least favorite is The Runaway. You know, if I had to
Okay.
pick one episode to cut out, Runaway's
Wow.
gone, dude.
Yeah.
Sorry. I know you said it was one of your favorites. Cut Runaway out. Don't even need it. Which sucks because one thing about season 3, I feel like Toph, she doesn't have as much to do in season 3 as she does in season 2. She's got her parts, and I love Toph. But in season 3, I wish she was given just something much more to do. And Runaway
She's
is like her
Melon
only
Lord.
episode.
She's the Melon Lord.
That's it. That's all Toph has is Melon Lord.
Melon Lord.
I'm gonna have to go the Firebending Masters.
Okay.
It is so boring.
Oh yeah. No,
It is
you're
so
a good
boring.
point.
They could have done
That's a
something
good. I keep forgetting
good.
about that one.
They and what it doesn't make any sense. This is like the worst writing that they have in all 3 seasons, in my opinion. Because
It's
all
a
of
filler
sudden,
episode.
Yeah,
it
oh,
is,
for
but
sure.
all of a sudden, Zuko can't firebend. Is that natural for firebenders? Where all of a sudden they just lose their mojo, and it's like,
He did. He
You can't do
definitely
it?
lost his mojo. He was like,
but is that normal? Do people just why don't we just go invade the Fire Nation? Because some people, like, when it's cloudy outside, and we'll just, go.
well, think.
Just do
Iroh
it.
says, firebending comes from the breath, not the muscle. So yeah, he's got the muscle, but he lost his breath of anger. So it just kind of was, deflated. There was no more
Boo.
oomph.
Just kidding. But seriously, don't tell anyone.
Boo. No.
My least favorite is the Painted Lady. Just kind of a.
Oh no.
Why?
It's just kind of a
Oh,
bleh
I
episode
love
for
it.
me. I was never a fan of it.
I love it.
That's
I love
a
how
Katara
Katara's like, I
episode,
will never
man.
ever turn my back on people who need me.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
like that.
"You
I
go,
like that
girl.
line. But
Dude,
Girl,
Katara
you
is
do it.
so fine. She's so cute in that episode. Too, bro.
she is really cute in that one. I didn't know spirits are, could be pretty or whatever he says, but yeah, that episode's just kind of meh to me.
Do you when Aang goes into the industrial thing, the plant, I'll call it,
Uh-huh.
and he's turning over a thing of molten lava or something, he is loving it. He is they do a close up of his face. He's just like
The
check
only
it out. Check it out.
the one part I love in that episode is when like they break the fourth wall kind of with the music, and Sokka's playing like the little pan flute thing, and
yeah,
Appa
yeah.
or Toph is dropping the rock, and Akka's like, that's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's it for the episodes. So we're gonna kind of go through these two kind of quick. Best teacher.
Pian Dao. Master Pian
P and Dow, agreed. Yeah, I agree.
Mine is Boomy.
Oh, well, he wasn't really a teacher, though.
No, he did. He taught Aang literally, that through those trials, to listen
No.
and, not see with your eyes. And
Is not a
No,
teacher.
Toph did that. Toph did that.
Boomy did
He
the
put a
same
bug
thing.
in his-
He said,
he put a
open
bug
your
in his
eyes to
ear.
the possibilities and think outside
All
the box.
Boomy did was say, "Hey, find this little blind kid in the swamp, and you'll find your teacher."
No, I think Boomy
That's all
is
he's
a real...
just look for somebody that listens to the earth. That's all he did. Dude, Boomy is actually probably the worst character in the whole
He
show.
passed him off to a different teacher. That's a bad teacher, man.
What? No,
Yeah,
he was
that's a
off.
bad
He
teacher.
had a mission to do by, regaining his city towards the end. But he did teach Aang during those trials to, think outside the box. Like everything is
I'm
so
not saying- I'm not
obvious to
saying
Aang.
I'm not saying he wasn't a teacher, but he's a bad teacher.
No,
All right.
I disagree.
All right, best written villain. Best written villain.
Azula.
There's only one answer for this. Azula.
Azula.
I kind of
Azula.
disagree. That's funny.
What?
You
Why?
guys both picked Pian Dao for the best teacher. I
Up top,
picked
bro.
Zhao as the best villain.
No,
He is a very
Zhao
good
is too
villain.
one-dimensional. He's a great
No,
villain,
he
but
He
he's
is
too
so
one-dimensional.
villain.
good as a villain. He's just full of rage and anger, and
But the best written villain,
well,
you take Azula or Zhao?
it would be an obvious Azula. She's really great villain, you know, hateful creature. But I don't know. I love Zhao just like encroaching on like the team the entire time and on Zuko through it all.
Yes,
He
no,
was just
I mean,
reigning-
Zhao is awesome. Zhao is great.
Yeah, I really like Zhao as a villain.
What I love about Azula, how she was written, is that she's only, I think, like 14,
Yeah.
and
She's creepy and scary.
Because of her surroundings and the way that she was brought up and the environment that she grew up in, she just became like this psychologically manipulative, crazy person. But it's like, you're only 14, baby. We need to talk.
And you see it at like the very last episode where she freaking loses her mind.
Yeah,
She's
that's
got
where-
vulnerabilities.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
what's so great about the character. You
When
know,
she
she
threw the-
wants to present everything to her as perfect, even
Yeah.
down to her hair, the last strand of hair. You know, and so at the very first time you see her in season 2, she's like, down to the last wire to my hair. I want everything to be perfect. And then at the end of season 3,
She's cutting her
spoilers,
hair, man.
she's cutting her hair.
She's losing it.
You know?
All right, hair. It's time to face your doom.
But I don't know, Zhao, and I said that the Deserter was one of my favorite episodes of season 1, so it would make sense that like I would mention Zhao because I love him in that episode when Aang is just like sloppy, very sloppy. Oh, that fight is so
You-
good.
You were Jean student till I got bored.
Yeah, I start scroll
Um,
after scroll.
So, were there any bending possibilities that were untapped? There's one that I'm thinking of, but what have you got? What are you guys thinking?
I feel like that comes out in the next series in Legend of Korra. That's when
Yeah,
they
I
explore
agree.
all that bending
I feel
stuff.
like you could do so much. You're bending the literal elements, the things that make up the whole world. So I was thinking, because I am an earth, when I'm not busy being the Avatar, I am an earthbender, and I would do alchemy. Man, oh my gosh, her name just Toph. She learns how to bend metal, so learn how to, make things by blending these things together. I think that's something that could.
I think
very
that
much
kind
happen.
of gets touched in on in Korra, kind of.
Alchemy, maybe with platinum. Maybe when they do platinum. But you
Yeah,
can't
I
bend
would say they
platinum.
kind of touch on that. I thought maybe weather. I don't know.
Yeah. And Katara sort of manipulates the weather in
Southern Raiders.
in the Southern Raiders when she stops the rain.
Yeah.
Which was dope.
Yeah, that was scary.
Super dope.
But yeah, that's all I could really think about.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead.
go for it. Go for it.
No, you go.
Okay. If you could continue the original story where it doesn't just stop right at the party, what would you like to see?
Nothing. I'd end it right there. It was perfect.
Wow, that's
So the world just it just implodes right there. It's a happy ending, and the world just.
It's kind of like when like if you look at Star Wars, it goes on and you find out, oh, they had kids. This Lord of the Rings, Frodo goes to the Undying Land. Sam goes 10 years, 20 years later. They all end up dying. I mean, it's only so much, I think. I mean, the thing is with that show is that they're so young. They're not even 20 years old yet, so they still have their whole lifetime. It's just like they peaked, So,
But maybe not. Maybe not.
so I mean, we'll touch base on it when we get to Legend of Korra, but I mean, they get married, they have kids.
What I would like to see is not saying as a spin-off show or anything, but the rise of Republic City. And how cool that would be. With some of the comics that I think Dark Horse is the one that publishes the Avatar comics. with what they touch on, where Toph starts her bending academy, um, and Zuko and Azula go looking for their mom. That's the kind of thing that I would like to see animated. As well as when they get into their 20s and they start having kids and they're starting to build up this new republic and rebuild the Earth Kingdom. What challenges come from that? Because I'm sure that there would be some. I think there is still possibility with that.
My thing is that when Avatar ended, Brian and Michael had a vision of this is it. It's going to end here. And I think that was a wise decision of not continuing it because it might have gotten stale. It might have gotten who knows what. And I'm glad it just ended. It was perfect. So that's why I say don't add on to it. You can do the comics and obviously what has happened. I think it's perfect. It's fine. Leave it as it is.
Leave it as it is.
And with that concludes Avatar. For next week, we'll be discussing Korra.
Oh, and by the way, we've meant Avatar, not the Blue People show. If
you've been thinking this whole time.
Thinking this was about the Blue People.
Oh my god. I'm sure you were very confused if you were. That didn't happen.
I don't remember that.
Hey, we're going to see you guys next week. Yeah, we'll see you guys next week.
Yes.
We're going to be breaking into Legend of Korra. And we'll bring you some whatever news happens in animation, movies, and
video games, whatever.
I think is very cool. Video games.
Yeah. So
we come up with.
Stay tuned for next week's episode. It'll be really awesome. And thank you all so much for listening.
Thank you guys. Have a good week, everybody.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.